Pauline Hanson has been roaming around. Very disturbing.
She's scaring people away from the
But before the big battle tonight, the big battle here in the SFLW, perhaps not quite as important in the grander scheme of things. But 4 points on the line, Simon.
Cool.
good afternoon and welcome to North Hobart Oval for round 5 SFLW football. It's North Hobart taking on Clarence. The two teams met just a fortnight ago over at Ninja Stadium, playing on the much smaller confines of North Hobart here this afternoon. It was North Hobart who were too strong last time they met, but Clarence really charged them down late in the piece. We'll see if they can carry that into the game today. Plenty of changes for both sides. I'm Andrew Cooling, calling the action, and joining me on her special comments debut, Lily Thompson. Very good afternoon.
Hello, Andrew. Thanks for having me.
What are you expecting from this one before we get underway, Lily?
Oh, I'm excited. It's 1v2. Like you said, they only played a fortnight ago, and Clarence have had a bye since then, so I'm looking for a really good competition.
So if they've used those 2 weeks as a plan of attack, it certainly got better as the contest wore on, but certainly a much larger field in Ninja Stadium, so it's itself a different style. But we're ready to get underway in what's surely an intriguing clash here. Smith was very good in the ruck for North Hobart last time around, and they've got that first loose out of the middle here. They've worked in the direction of Barnes, with White who takes it and hands it back to Barnes. Gathers, handles through to Smith, just got a piece of it, looking for White. There's the tackle. Maddie Lamb was terrific last time they met, and she's wrapped up at half forward. Smith again winning the ruck contest. Translated into a clearance initially though. Some good work from Thomas. Muscling through now, might sit for Mifsud. Gathers, handballed it out around the corner there from Moffat into a dangerous area. Gathered by White, tried to take a couple on, lost it. Mifsud following up at ground level. She's got some room to go off the deck with the left.
Start.
What a finish. Mifsud just had the presence to go off the ground and drills the finish. It's the perfect start for North Hobart.
Very well done. They came straight out of the middle, which I think is probably one of their strong points, especially against Lauderdale last week. They were really strong in the midfield. So that'll be a good start for the Days.
Lovely finish from a goal scorer in Emily Mifsud. She's going to be a threat up there. No Bingham in the forward line today, so we'll have to carry some extra responsibility, but it's a good start. And an instinctive finish there. See how Clarence will respond. Edmund doing the ruck work against Smith. Edmund did the body work, couldn't quite get the tap down. Lamb wins another clearance for the Demons, sends them up towards the half forward line. And there's Archer bustling through Barnes. And take clean possession here, coming away with its pre-short, but she's going nowhere.
Smith's doing great work in the ruck already.
Goes again here, taps it down. Barnes tapped it back to Smith. Immediately locked up. Knowles coming in. Smith paddling. Dangerous area. Wagner buffeted off it. Barnes involved early, but immediately besieged by a pair of Clarence tacklers. Smith reaches over the top. Moffat couldn't take it cleanly. Lamb goes in, extracts the football. Follows up and gets her own ball in the end. Lamb straightens her kick charge down. Clarence should be able to clear the area here. They work it up towards Preshaw. Preshaw now looking to bound off half back. Just sets it out into space and sets the task for Murgatroyd into the team today. She gives chase after this one. Took a difficult bounce but took it cleanly and then works it into the pocket. It was an ill-directed kick and it drifts out of bounds on the foot.
Good running though from the Roos. I think the D's are pretty good at that, but that was quite well done.
First time they've been able to burst out into open space today. Some work from Preshaw at half-back. It'll be the Demons now looking to build themselves. They get to the likely target of Grace White. Didn't take it, but brought it to ground well. Smith now just toes it to her own advantage. And work it through Moffat down the line and change some handballs here. White flicks it over the top to Thomas. Thomas stripped of the football, but they keep it in motion. Now they look to work it forward. Dangerous looking ball here for Pike. Inside the forward 50 it goes. Pike goes back in for it. But she's locked up there. Archer doing the job defensively. Scott to do the ruck work this time for the Roos. Busting through Thomas. Archer just overran it. Webster. Usually makes good decisions with the ball. This one will just kick out into space and make it a foot race. Down probably without the football, I thought there was Clark, and the umpire agrees. She'll get the free kick, advantage paid, and no, it's not. Limbrick had burst off.
She was ready there, wasn't she?
Unfortunately, has to go back. She'll be someone the Demons will be putting a lot of work into, as they've made a bit of meal of this one. Went back for Webster. Barnes just handballed it straight towards the line. In the end, yeah, it is seen as insufficient intent. Seemed to be the only thought there. She was outnumbered. So the Roos with a free kick at half back. Stabs one down the line. Out of hands for a ball in. So a good battle developing early on here. Tossed back into play. Scott and Smith. Smith got hands to it. Ball back there towards Thomas. Got one over the shoulder. Chelsea Thomas had it on a string last week. Sends the Demons inside the forward 50. It's taken away from White. She looks to follow up at ground level. Crashing in over the shoulder. That's going to be a free kick every day of the week, going the way of Moffat.
Couple out the back here.
And she looks to take full advantage of that. It was pretty well defended, but they've still got the spare out the back. They hand it off the Roos. Under pressure, they've got to get rid of this one. Just got the handball away in time. Kick back towards White. Bounced away from her. Wagner looks to charge out of defence here. Busted through a tackle and then launched it into the middle of the ground. Dangerous ball for Wickham. And they've got a loose over the top here if they can work it. And they do through Edmund. Edmund now through the middle for Preshaw. Preshaw weaves around one. She's got players wide open inside the forward 50. Just went for the pocket. And it's going to trickle out of play. Just had to go for Whitehead there. It made such a lung-busting run forward, but couldn't find her.
I think maybe handballs might have been a bit more beneficial in that sort of case rather than the longer kick. They had quite a few players, close to her then.
Yeah, the hand might well have been the better option. You're right. They certainly had two spares inside 50 there. Couldn't make it count. They've looked good on the counter early though. Wickham doing the ruck work up against Banks this time. It's a snapshot on goal from Preshaw. Lovely work through traffic. Got free. Snaps truly. And Heidi Preshaw levels this one up. Some classy work there.
It was an impressive goal. A bit of an angle there, so she did well.
So they do get the goal anyway. Having probably not taken full advantage of the attack. They get the stoppage inside forward 50. And Heidi Preshaw splits the middle. Get some reward for a couple of pretty good counter-attacking moves they've produced here. They've looked good with speed on the ball.
They have. Wickham were very clean then. I think there were quite a few fumbles that they'd be a little bit disappointed with, but Wickham picked it up and got it into their forward 50 quite well.
So a goal apiece here. 7+ change into the opening quarter. Top two sides in the SFLW battling it out. Two you might well fancy to meet late in September this year. The Demons probably the flag favourites at this point. The Roos a strong challenger, so a big 4 points out for grabs. And Chelsea Thomas looking to get another clearance here. Just toes it out into space. Out after that's Moffat. Moffat delayed the handball, then flicked it over the chop trying to find Percy. Wrapped up at half forward. Eventually the Roos will look to repel. Kicked out into space. Taking it there, it was Phillips. Handball for McGuinness. McGuinness tries to take on a couple and gets caught.
Oh, very well done. Good pressure there.
Holding the football. Just trying to bite off a little more than she could chew. That was a dicey kick though. Dangerous area and they might be made to pay. Lamb the target here or a White.
Good hands.
Takes the mark. Probably too far out to score. It's a wide open goal square though and she senses that and blasts it. Will it bounce truly? It will. Just no.
Oh.
Just getting a fingertip on the line was Wagner.
That was hard running by Wagner. She was lucky she got that, but that was very well done.
Goal umpire made us wait there. Eventually signalled despairing defence, but they're not out of danger yet as Barnes handballs it back into space. White been in everything early inside forward 50, picks it up again. She was stripped of the football though. Wide searching kick out towards Whitehead. Tracks this one down, gains some more territory down the wing. Limbrick, a likely target, was just outpointed by Percy. Limbrick then wraps her up. There'll be a ball up on centre wing. McGuinness just clean ran into there by Scott.
I don't know if she tripped or she meant to do that.
Either way, pretty obvious free kick, and McGuinness will take it and send it again in the right direction. Why not? This time she's beaten in the air, though, by Edmonds. And Clarence defence is holding up pretty well under some early pressure. Kick up towards Murgatroyd, just bounced short. Wickham trying to shrug free of Ferguson. He stripped her of the football. Scott grabs a hold of it. Ferguson grabs a hold of her. McGuinness tapped it, but straight to Whitehead. Running at Webster. McGuinness goes back in for it. Holding the ball, says the umpire. Red hot call there. Driving it forward is Webster. Gathered at half forward by Ivory. That kick charge down. Nicely defended by Splan. Sees it out of play. Tossed in at half forward for the Roos. Whitehead. Wickham. McGuinness crunching in there. She'll take this ruck contest against Wickham. Wickham happy to just let her get the ball and wrap her up. For the third time. Little duel this time. The Demons will come away with the clearance through Phillips. High ball up towards the wing. Denny underneath it. Taken away from her by Oates and out of play.
She was 2-on-1 then, so I think probably getting it out was probably the best case for her, I suppose.
Get a stoppage on the attacking side of the wing for the Roos. Tight battle in the offing early on. This one goes over the top of both rucks, and a free kick's been blown. It's going to go the way of Gemma Webster. It's just going to go to Heidi Preshaw. It's time to get back on her line. So Preshaw kicks towards the half-forward line. That one not a great kick though, and chopped off at half-back. Steering it into the middle for White was Phillips. Lifts it offering short. Takes an alternate short option though, in the form of Moffat. Gives the handball back to White. White now driving up towards the half-forward line, looking for Denny. Smith down there in support, but it's pretty well defended by Edmonds. And they force a stoppage. Smith wins it down. Webster will emerge with the football. Should get on the end of this one too. Receives from Preshaw and then chips it. The kick just eluding Harper. The Demons well set up behind the football. Kicked in the middle looking for McGuinness. Had two to beat. Limbrick coming in from the side. Impacted the contest. She'll receive the football again. Jacinta Limbrick, usually a good user, and launches this one long. Didn't have a lot to kick to. Strangely going with the volley there was Vernon rather than attempting to mark, but it works out all right as they're able to launch it over the top, trying to find Moffat, who just pushes the defender underneath the football, goes back for it. And pretty well defended in the end there by Lily Harper.
Clarence have done well defending. Every time North Hobart's gone inside their forward 50, they've looked quite threatening, so they've done well.
I agree. They've certainly shaded the inside 50 count, but haven't had too many scoring chances from it. Defenders winning plenty of contests. McGuinness wins the ruck contest. Handball broken up by McGuinness. Preshaw a half-smothered kick away, and Clarence going to spring at the back. It's a very nice tackle indeed, and rewarded too. Meg Phillips making an impact and drives it into White, who almost took the mark. Looked to follow up at ground level. But again, it's Clarence defence holding up under pressure. Archer this time sends it towards Limbrick. Had a couple to beat. Did pretty well. Might have been held on to. Umpire says play on. Mackenzie Banks locks it in. Banks pushing up the ground to get involved here. Now retreating back to a normal roll behind the football. Wickham beaten by McGuinness on this occasion. Looking for Lamb. Torres in after it, but again the Roos Able to clear it away. Banks opposed to Limbrick. Ball lands into the path of Limbrick, who cleverly just held up, pivoted, then went sideways, just puts it out in front of a teammate there, but didn't quite work for Clark. Forward go at the Demons by Atkinson. Webster battling away for it. Knowles brought down. The umpire calls for it. Wickham comes flying through the contest. Murgatroyd scrapping away there. Smith and Wickham. Nicely done, and forward goes Harper. Moves out behind. Might be an opportunity here for Ivory. The ball wouldn't sit for her. Dangerous though is Limbrick. Still a chance here. The Roos, Limbrick battling away for it. And in the end, Ferguson's done pretty well just to hold it in there. Numbers at the fall of the footy there, the Roos. Down by Murgatroyd, who then follows up at ground level. Knowles just handed it out. Hurried kick to Limbrick. Almost juggled the mark, not quite. Had 2-3 bites at it, couldn't quite complete it. And we tossed off top of the square.
I thought she had it then. She just fumbled it at the last minute.
A large piece of it, not quite enough. Wickham doing well in these ruck contests. Lays a tackle too. Final seconds of the quarter here. Can Clarence manufacture a late score and take a lead into the quarter-time break? Wickham trying her utmost, but there's no room to manoeuvre as Banks and Smith sandwich her. Wickham paddles down. Lamb just paddled it straight to Clark. Smith flicked it away. Vernon is tackled by Ivory. Pete stoppages in a dangerous part of the ground here. Clark. Numbers will see it across the line for the Demons. Just trying to hold on in the shadows of quarter time. Wickham. Locking it in on the bottom of that pack was Phillips.
Someone's hurt.
Down. Celeste Knowles for Clarence. Very gingerly getting back to her feet. We'll get the free kick as well. Seems like she's going to be all right to take it.
Just taking her time, letting everyone have a bit of a breather.
So Knowles, we'll see if she's recovered enough. She sends it just across the face and levels things up. So 7 apiece here. Clarence fighting back into the contest nicely. For a sharp start by North Hobart. The Roos, plenty of time inside the forward half at the moment. That could be a free kick to Whitehead. Strip the football. Guides it towards the pocket. Couldn't quite combine there with Edmund. Referee also lurking. Dialing up the pressure here, the Roos. Can they get a goal to show for it? Tapped down by Smith. Umpire spotted a push. It's going to go the way of Murgatroyd. So an opportunity to hand the Roos the lead here. Look at Murgatroyd into the side today. And she too hangs it across the face. One score only.
Not quite getting rewarded for all their effort. It's been down in their half quite a bit this back at the end of the quarter.
They would have loved a second goal to show for it, wouldn't they? Firmly on top. So North being challenged firmly here. The ladder leaders. High ball, Limbrick underneath that. Her name written all over it. She happily accepts, and she is a long kick. This would test her, though. She can give it a good ride just into Limbrick. She works it towards the square, won't quite have the journey, and bounces through for a minor score. Peppering the goals at the moment. He's got North Hobart just baying for the quarter-time siren at the moment as Banks takes it in the back pocket. He's looking for White, but she's got two to beat, and she beats them both. She's excellent in the air. As Grace White kicks it into the middle. Couldn't quite find the target by a foot, and out the back now here's Archer. Tumbles it forward, turned it over. And they're well set up behind the ball here at the moment. Royce, though, took a very unkind bounce. Lamb just kind of got thrown. And she'll get the free
there's
kick.
A couple out here.
Two on out the back. Lamb very much alert to that. Sends it over the top, searching there for Denny. Umpire spotted a free kick. Will advantage be blown here?
No, bringing it back.
It won't. It'll be a certain goal if so. And instead, it's going to take a good kick after the siren here for Denny. And they'll all get back on the line at the Roos here. And she got the journey in her. It's going to need to travel 35, 40 metres. It would be a big kick. So Denny charges in. Gives it a good ride, but it won't quite have enough. So the score at quarter time is Clarence 1-3-9, leading North Hobart 1-1-7. How did you see that first term, Lily?
Well, I think Clarence will be really happy. I think last time the two played, it was North Hobart came out of the gate really fast. So I think they'll be happy with that. It definitely looks like they got a bit back to basics too, I suppose, for Clarence. So I think they should be happy.
I think so too. They've got a 2-point lead after the first term here at North Hobart Oval. Top of the table battle in the SFLW. We'll be back shortly with quarter number 2. Tried to take a couple on, lost it. Mifsud following up at ground level. She's got some room to go off the deck with the left. What a finish. Mifsud with the ball. This one will kick out into space and make it a foot race. Down properly without the football. I thought there was Clark, and the umpire agrees. She there couldn't make it count. They've looked good on the counter early though. Wickham doing the rough work up against Banks this time. It's a snap shot on goal from Preshaw. Lovely work through traffic, got free, snaps truly. Nice and kick though, dangerous area, and they might be made to pay. Lamb the target here, or White takes the mark, probably too far out to score. It's a wide open goal square though, and she senses that and blasts it. Will it bounce truly? It will. Just no. This Preshaw started to kick away, and Clarence will spring at the back. It's a very nice tackle indeed, and walls it just across the face and wraps things up. She too hangs it across the face. So we're just about ready to get going in quarter number 2. It is the visitors, Clarence, 2 points ahead as we get ready for the second term. North Hobart started the stronger, but the Roos really came firing back at them, didn't they, Lily?
They did. They'll be a bit disappointed they weren't able to concede a few, to get a few more goals down their end, but they'll be happy with the time in their forward 50.
Yeah, they really started to get on top, and after the defence held out really well in the first 10 minutes, it was suddenly the Demons who had the defending to do. So we'll see if that continues in the second term, or whether North Hobart can get the game back on their terms. But it's been a real arm wrestle so far. Looking like two tightly matched sides. North Hobart 10-point winners last time they met. Pretty comfortable lead for most of that match before Clarence really came back hard at them in the last quarter. So we're ready to go in the second term. McGuinness rucking against Scott. And after this one is Preshaw, kick Clarence's goal. Moving one way then the other and sends the Roos up towards the half-forward line. From here for Limerick, Lamb comes crashing in. Turning away was Wickham. He handed the way Banks, but she's immediately besieged. Brought down by Jacinta Limerick. Wickham doing well on the ruck. Knowles flicked the handball out to Preshaw, who's jumped on by Lamb.
Lamb just seems to be everywhere, doesn't she? She's such a great player.
She is a tenacious tackler, is Lamb. Always working hard in the pack. Such a great contested player. The Roos looking to get the clearance here. Oates comes in for it. Almost busting through was Phillips, but another stoppage. Thomas throwing up after dropping, and Wickham hands the ball but unable to get it out. Still McGuinness wins it down. Preshaw. Handball off to Oates. Oates now blasts it inside the forward 50. Ivory, Lamb spinning away with it, but can't get free of Ivory. Tried to fend her off. There's the prior opportunity. That's
very
ball.
Well done. Very well done.
Ivory just would not let go. Lamb thought she had the strength to escape. So nice work from Ivory. This would test her though. And she doing the job. 35 out here. Limerick offering a searching lead, but Ivory is going to have a crack at it. Just drifts across the face for a minor score. Clarence leading by 3 points. So Mackenzie Banks will charge out of full-back here. Spied some room and then heads wide, but pushing the back on White spotted. So Grace White. Dominant player in the air is White. Kicks this one up towards the wing. With the hands and out the back. Now Smith a target. Opposed to her is Edmonds. A really good first quarter defensively, Edmonds, for a stack of contests. Oh. It's a high contact free kick. The old coat hanger there.
Yeah, that looked painful.
Earning that free kick was Rachel Archer. Showing no ill effects. She'll take the free kick and half back.
Oh. 50.
Just creeping over the mark there was Mifsud. Not sure she thought she heard a whistle or not, but just kind of ran straight at an Archer.
It kind of looked like she played on, but she mustn't have.
Well, the umpire just hadn't blown the whistle, I guess. Mifsud just assuming that whistle there. Anyway, Clarence now on the attack. That's a poor kick though. They had numbers out. A little bit wasteful. Off there by Pike, who kicks up to the middle of the ground. Thomas is there, so too Barnes. Trying to emerge with his Oates, just toes it off the ground. McGuinness lurking behind the football though, gathers and slaps it forward, but she too has turned it over. Harper all on her own. And the team able to keep a hold of the football just for the moment. Harper Just turns it over herself there to Moffat, but Archer able to get a handball out to Preshaw. Preshaw's got room to manoeuvre here. She can have a bounce if she wants. Opts to go inside 50 in the Ivory direction instead. Mark was spilled. And their stoppage. Vernon is locked up.
Vernon just read the ball a bit better then.
Better of Ivory in that situation. Ferguson trying to spin free of Wickham. Just handed it off in the end to England, who kicks a clearing kick. White now gathers, tries to shrug free of a tackle, but she is going nowhere. Latching on was Harper.
Good tackling from the Roos. Just been able to stick it. Haven't been able to let them get through that easy.
There's been a few times where the Demons players have tried to step through the tackle unsuccessfully. This time it's Maddie Lamb laying a tackle. Regularly among the tackle leaders in the stats category is Lamb. She'll get a possession here, but she's immediately charged down and then jumped upon, asking where the high contact free kick was, and I think probably had a case.
Yeah, I think she probably did.
Again, stoppage. McGuinness, Thomas. She's handling. Preshaw following up, and eventually it trickles out. It's a tight battle here. No goals in the opening 5.5 minutes of quarter number 2. Goals looking difficult to come by out there. Both defences have been on top. Going down towards Thomas. And Webster. Laying another tackle. Scott and McGuinness. Scott takes it down, almost took it herself out of the contest. Turning away with it was Phillips. Sends it round the corner, but Archer's there to intercept. She plays on, spied Wagner in the middle. It was a risky kick, but it's come off nicely. Wagner sends it to half forward, finds a target in Harper. Harper now looks up. Plenty of options inside forward 50. Getting back though is Thomas, but Ivory springs away with a football, bursts away, handball across. Here's an opportunity now. The snap is into the post. It would have been a nice goal, but not to be. Detroit almost kick it. 2 balls on the ground here. Banks plays on, deals with the other one. Play continues, kicks it up towards the contest. White on a drop one she had 99% of. Got there, then spilt it. She'll follow up here at ground level. Banks burrowing in. Time in forward half in quarter number 2 here for the Roos. Slapped forward in the direction of Barnes, who's stripped of the football by Preshaw. He'll get another disposal here, just tumbles one inside the forward 50. Ball back into dispute, flicked out in the space for Lamb. Gathers and kicks it around the corner. It was a kick in hope, but it worked out beautifully.
They're out here, the Roos. The D's. Chelsea Thomas is just without a player. Someone's going for it now.
White heads instead for Miffs in the middle of the ground. Wagner working back and provides a good shepherd. Charging through was Harper. Her kick was blocked off, but plenty of numbers at the fall of football. Here's Archer showing some dash again. She sends them inside the forward 50, but straight to Vernon. He shuts that one down. Plenty of the ball at the moment, the Roos, just not quite able to find that kick inside 50. Demons doing a lot of defending at the moment. Ferguson handball to a teammate under pressure. Murgatroyd flicks the handball up. Ivory again laying a tackle. Impressive here so far this afternoon, Ivory. Lively inside forward 50. Smith now doing the ruck work, but Murgatroyd got the better of that one. Just handballed into space. Limbrick, always a danger. Play allowed to continue. Eventually it'll be cleared away, but great direction on the kick and a chance here for Webster. Wide open. She's just beyond her range. Wide open goal square if she wants to go quickly. Instead, we'll just set one up. It's a good kick and it's a good mark.
Just saw the gap there, Webster.
Now Murgatroyd. Well thought out. She probably didn't quite have the journey. Instead, a very makeable attempt here for Murgatroyd. Extend the Roos lead to 10 points. They've been pretty dominant here in the second term. They need a goal to show for it. Hasn't quite caught that one, and Banks slaps it through.
Just too low. You need to kick up high.
A traceable bit of a kick, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Now Banks in, so 5 points, the Clarence lead. Probably should be more. They're really dominating this quarter at the moment. I think North Hobart have gone inside 50 this quarter, have they?
No, I don't think they have. They've looked dangerous a couple of times through the midfield, but just haven't been able to get it in.
Clarence really piling it on. It's about the halfway mark of the first quarter. And firmly in the ascendancy here. They get a goal to show for it. Murgatroyd's had plenty of influence. This one floats over her head. Now Limbrick almost sharked that one. It was wrapped up by Smith. Murgatroyd again. Busting through was Mifsud. Plenty numbers behind the football here for the Roos though, but the slap turned over. And forced a stoppage. Clarence here, the Demons there. A lot of defending this quarter. Now perhaps a chance for Barnes to send them forward. Off hands. Following through Thomas. Gathered. Handball across to White. She's immediately wrapped up though. Nice doing the defensive work. So inside 50 here. The Demons. Smith won it down. Unable to get clear. Smith slammed into the turf there by Knowles. Smith won it down. Free short. Great tackle from Chelsea Thomas.
Ran straight into it, didn't she?
Go again, the Rucks. Smith reaching over the top. Lamb looking to charge through. Wagner came through, but there was Barnes just handballed out into space. Wickham battling away with Mifsud. Umpire spotted something. It's going to be a hold going the way of the Roos that will relieve the pressure. And Wickham, deep in her own defence, kicks up towards a contest. Coming over the top was Pike. Thomas spied Smith in space, handballed it to her. Lamb looking to follow up. Oh, just diving in there and conceding a free kick. Webster. A little bit reckless. No, plus this ball up. My apologies. We'll toss that one up. Smith goes down. Big stoppages inside 50. Thomas again just locking it in. Seems excelling in that area. The umpire wasting no time flicking that one straight up, and that was handballed by Barnes into space. Able to wriggle free is Percy. And they're inching their way towards goal here. Stoppage by stoppage. Hands against Smith. Quite get the contact she was after. Wickham. And handball blocked off. We go again.
Gosh, Roos defence doing quite well. They just managed to stop it every time.
Fanatical tackling out there at the moment. Now perhaps an opportunity, but White's kick brilliantly defended by Archer. And now the Roos look to storm off half back. Kick up towards Edmund on the wing is taken nicely. They're out the back here if they can move it quickly. Limbrick did well, got it back to Edmund.
Oh,
Edmund now to Ivory. It's wide open for Ivory. She can run this one in, Ivory. She tumbles it along the deck and strikes through their second of the afternoon. Wonderful transition football from the Roos. They go coast to coast and lead this one by 11 points.
I think that's what they've been doing a lot of this game, is going from end to end really fast and really efficiently. I think North Hobart will be really disappointed. It was in their forward 50 for a long time, and they just weren't able to convert.
They must have had at least 7 or 8 ball-ups inside 50
one after
there.
another quite quickly too.
And it all started with Archer just blocking off White's shot on goal. Just a great smother, and suddenly Edmund was away. Limbrick got up the field, got involved, and they had the outnumber inside 450. Ivory, who's been impressive, gets a goal.
Very good running.
Suddenly an 11-point lead to Clarence off the spell of North Hobart's best period of the quarter. They've got some work to do, the ladder leaders, right now. They look to respond Here's Lamb. She's one who can get them going, but again, space, an absolute premium. Tackling effort of Clarence has been fantastic thus far. There's no room to manoeuvre for the Demons right now. Smith turn back into Webster, but still got a kick away. Archer back with the flight. Body on the line, towing it off the deck there was Percy into a dangerous area here. Following up in support is Denny. Oates in the heat. Guinness will do the ruck work. To use the size advantage, he just took it out of the ruck and snaps it. It's bouncing across the face.
She just plucked that so easily.
Yeah, she had the reach in that contest. Yeah. Just plucked it out and boots the ball as well. One score only, so Wagner out of full back. Oates, a short option, but she'll go further afield. Goes looking for Webster. Kick to Webster, but has it spoiled away from her and out of play. Alright, tosses it back in. The throw very much to Smith's advantage, but can't take it cleanly. Thomas trying to burrow through. Pike grabs it, but she's grabbed. Down to Thomas. Thomas puts it across to Barnes. Barnes to Mifsud. Mifsud gathers, gets, boots the ball. Not too much purchase on the kick. Follows up and lays a tackle. And then some afters there from Mifsud. Just followed on with the tackle after the whistle, and the umpire pays a free kick for it.
Been some big tackles, big crunches. A bit of fire in this game.
Certainly has. It's a physical game as somehow gets that kick in between the two Demons defenders closing her down.
Was that a mark? No, play on.
Crowd certainly thought so. Umpire disagrees. That's White. Almost plucking that one in amongst the pack. Smith at ground level. Climbing into her. Webster trying to extract the football. Smith just slaps it into space. First to it was Oates, but she's brought down by White. Just got it away in time. Whitehead. Cleared away by Oates. Up into the middle of the ground. It's wide open behind these players. If they can get out the back again, the Roos here. Taking it cleanly with Chick. But the Demons able to hold them up. In the middle of the ground. Nice work from Smith, just forces it forward over the head of Mifsud. Coming out at it, McGuinness. Can she gather cleanly? She might have got one over the shoulder there, McGuinness. Umpire says no. Tossed up again. Slapped to a dangerous area. Wagner repels. Smith with 2 to beat. Living inside 50 for much of the last 7 or 8 minutes here. Flip the script a little. Used an opportunity for Barnes, just handballed her into space, but Denny couldn't get a kick away. She was shut down quickly. Wagner hits the deck. Denny follows up, gets a high kick, but drifts out of bounds on the full. Next defence continuing to hold up. Wagner. There's Clark on if she wants to go for the switch and does exercise that option. Chips into the pocket. Clark over the top for Edmonds. Edmonds kicks up towards a 2-on-1. They've done this really nicely to Roos our defence, and now Preshaw charges away. Sets it high in the Limbrick direction. Banks defending the situation and coming away with it is Wells. She's turned it over. And back by Archer. Archer sideways for Preshaw. Now Clark just peeling off into space. Now looking for Limbrick. Banks gets across. 2 of the big guns going at it there. Did Limbrick Heed Banks. Umpire says play on and they'll toss it up. An all-star matchup, that one. Banks up against Limbrick. The best defenders up against one of the best forwards. Pre-short. Driven down there by Moffat. You do not have long in this ball game to get rid of the football, or you are going to get crunched. Scott and McGuinness, Jewell, Clark flicks the handball out. Lamb and Webster. Able to clear it out of there as Knowles emerges with the football. Final 20 seconds of the quarter, probably only time for Clarence to score here. And Lamb try to get something going for the Demons. Kicks up towards the wing. Smith looking for a free kick. Umpire will give it to her, but with only seconds left, she's going to have to launch this very, very quickly. I think the siren is going to beat her. And there it is. So it's Clarence to extend their lead, kicking the only goal of another tightly contested quarter. They've extended their lead to 10 points at half-time. 2-6-18, North Hobart 1-8. What did you make of that, Lily Thompson?
I mean, again, it stuck down North Hobart's forward for quite a bit, and then once Clarence got the ball and they got some space, they looked threatening and getting a goal out of it. I think that'll be in the back of North Hobart's mind for a little while now, that even if they do have their ball, the ball close to their goals, it doesn't necessarily mean that they're safe.
I think you got to give credit to both sets of defences, really. They've done
working hard,
really
very
good
hard
jobs, and you'd say that the first half of that quarter, it was all Clarence and North Hobart did a pretty good job holding up under that pressure, and then it really flipped. Both quarters have kind of had 10 minutes each in the ascendancy, you'd say.
And great tackling from both teams. I think big tackles too, not letting people get away with the ball. So I think they'd be really happy. I think there's things to work on. I think North Hobart maybe a little bit disappointed. I think that they had plenty of opportunities maybe, but Clarence defenders just too good.
Yeah, they've certainly been the best players on the ground, but all still to play for in the second half. It is an arm wrestle here at North Hobart Oval, and it's Clarence, perhaps the slight underdogs, looking to cause the upset here against the ladder leaders in a battle of the competition's top two. They lead by 10 points at half-time. We'll be back shortly with the second half.
Wherever cancer is, we are. We are the supporters, preventers, researchers and advocates, leading Australia to a future without cancer. Every day, we're finding new and better ways to offer services, share knowledge, and bring hope to Australians everywhere, because cancer affects us all. We're here to listen and care for people, however they need us, whenever they need us, through any type of cancer at any stage of the journey. Every day, we are supporting world-class researchers, empowering them to dream big and make the impossible possible. Together, we're pushing boundaries, unlocking the answers to understand, prevent and treat cancer. We're improving the lives of those living with it, and even getting close to eliminating some cancers altogether. You may not see us, but we're here, in schools and people's homes, on the beach, at work and on the streets, helping millions of Australians cut their risk and detect cancer sooner. We know that 1 in 3 cancers can be avoided, so we're out there preventing as many as we can. You may not hear us, but our voice is loud. Every day, we're using it to advocate, change laws and drive policies, to reduce cancer risks and improve cancer care, to break ground and speak for the community in places where they're not always heard. Every day, we're closer to a future without cancer. And as a charity, we rely on Australia's biggest hearts to help us get there faster.
Blunston's been building hard-working boots for over 150 years. The tougher you need them, the tougher we build them. giving you advanced protection and all-day comfort. After all, you never stand still, so neither do we. Blunston, building the future.
Oh, you mean the jam and cream? Good stuff.
Go!
And one for you as well. Got it.
Original glazed. Classic.
At Banjo's, we speak donut. Introducing our new range of flavours. Now there's one for everyone. Banjo's, making donuts better.
Need a goal to show for it. Hasn't quite caught that one, and Banks slaps it through.
It's too low. You need to kick up high.
Down. Pretty sure. Great tackle from Chelsea Tops. Sniffing space, handball to Tua. Lamb looking to follow up. Diving in there, and it's really a free kick up towards Edmund on the wing is taken nicely. Now the back here, if they can move it quickly. Limbrick did well, got it back to Edmund. Edmund now to Ivory. It's wide open for Ivory. She can run this one in, Ivory. She tumbles it along the deck and strikes through there, second of the afternoon. She just took it out of the ruck and snaps it. It's bouncing across the face.
She just plucked that so easily.
She had the reach in that contest. Pretty short. Driven down there by Moffat. welcome back for the second half here at North Hobart Oval. It's the visitors, Clarence, leading this one 2-6-18 to North Hobart 1-8 after a tight first half. No scoring battle, but the Roos will be the happier of the two teams. What are you expecting out of this second half, really, Thompson?
Oh, it'll be interesting. I think that'll be much of the same unless there's any major changes. I think, like you said, it is a fairly low-scoring game. Both sides have had pretty high-scoring games in other games this season. So it'll be interesting. Hopefully a bit more accuracy on goal maybe, a few more opportunities would be nice for both sides. So we'll wait and see.
43-33 last time they played, so lower scoring despite the smaller field here. But a real tight battle. See if either team can get on top in the third term. We're underway. Lamb went off the deck, couldn't get it, and now McGuinness reaches in, but immediately Scott and Knowles clamp her down. McGuinness wins it down. Thomas and Whitehead battling away. Spilled out to Webster, but the whistle had gone. McGuinness going to take it out of the ruck. Whitehead handball was shut down, paddled on there by Phillips. By letting it go. Eventually Barnes emerges with the football and sets a high ball inside the forward 50. All her own was White, but she couldn't quite take it. Just ran under it a tad. Wagner's clearing kick. Didn't quite get the purchase she was after, but it's forced forward straight towards McGuinness, who's immediately wrapped up. A trio of Roos players, and they win the holding the ball decision.
Grace White will be disappointed on that. She was all by herself, had plenty of time too, and just unfortunately fumbled.
Yeah, very good in the air too is Grace White. Whitehead the target here and takes a strong mark on the wing, gets it moving quickly. Handball to Archer overlapping. She punches it up towards the half-forward line. Good contest there, but it fell the way of Murgatroyd. Murgatroyd's kick is off line. And drifts out of bounds on the foot.
They are speedy through their middle field, aren't they? They seem to be able to get it down there quite fast.
Yeah, they've been really good in transition. They've used that speed quite effectively.
And good handballs too. I feel like that's a smart decision a lot of the time too.
Able to get at the back of this North Hobart team when they've pushed too far up the field. North now trying to clear defensive 50. Vernon kicks towards a contest. It's a great mark from White. Took the difficult one.
Yeah. She likes a challenge, White.
The kick not quite matching the mark, but it'll work out all right as it found its way to Barnes. Guinness had to reach down for that one. Now Webster. Handball across to Oates. Oates curls it around the corner. Banks parked behind the football. Just too much on it for her. Might fall for Murgatroyd. Took a chaotic bounce right into her bum and then dropped right between the legs. The old nutmeg in the end. The bounce initially favoured her, then not so much, and they'll force a stoppage. So the Roos on the attack here. They started the second term firmly on top inside forward 50. Staying this quarter in a similar fashion. McGuinness and Murgatroyd. Vernon trying to bust through a couple. She's immediately wrapped up by Knowles. Murgatroyd wins it down. Follows up at ground level. Flicks it out. The back there. Working is Limerick. Banks clasps it to her.
A lot of stoppages this game. I don't know which team that suits better, but there seems to be a lot.
I thought North Hobart coming into the contest, perhaps not quite played out that way today, though. Clarence midfield's done a pretty good job. Certainly the way Lamb and Thomas have started the season. You fancy a stoppage-laden game to suit the Demons, and free kick blown here. Everyone looks around. Eventually Knowles will be given it. Too far out to score. The Leeds present. Draws the handball. Oh, I don't know about that decision making, but making it work was Preshaw. Stepped through some heavy traffic, but the kick was no good. Straight to Banks. Put under a bit of pressure there, Preshaw. Trying to merge with it, Thomas. Still battling away for it, and actually just kind of flung it out, but straight to Knowles. Knowles handballed it to Preshaw. That kick blocked off. Oates Her kick beautifully charged down as well into the path of Thomas, and then Barnes just lost her footing. Thomas climbs on top. Another stoppage here. So the arm wrestle continues. Tight battle this one. It's about. Thomas misses the ball. He whistle had already gone. Scott takes front position. Ivory getting up and involved. High ball inside the forward 50. Dangerous one, and the mark is taken there by Murgatroyd.
Just didn't take her eyes off the football there.
Judged it in flight beautifully. She'll go back to kick for goal here. Opportunity to extend the lead out to 16 points. Murgatroyd. Again, it's a low one, but it works out all right. Well, it certainly wasn't her intent, but it finds Ivory all the same. Didn't quite catch the shot as she would have liked, but landed perfectly for Ivory, who hangs it near side, and that's a real let-off there for the Demons.
Rushed that, I thought. She had her time. She should have taken a little bit more time and gone back and reset herself.
So the Demons just hanging on at the moment, through the hands of Whitehead to White. Get something going off half back here as Span kicks it, but turns it straight over. Archer has been a wall down back for the Roos today.
Good kick.
That is a lovely kick to Harper. Shares it there with her sister Harper, I'm assuming. A couple of Harpers in the team. Here's Limbrick. Limbrick squaring ball all on her own. Preshaw.
That was smart. Good eyes then.
And Preshaw wheels off beautifully. Opens up and fires for goal. It's Preshaw for her second. She's got it.
Very well done. Speed, go. She just went for it then.
Yeah, knew she was just too far out to score, so spied the kind of 10 or 15 metres of free space ahead of her and just burst into it. She kicks her second of the game, and it's Clarence looking the goods here this afternoon at North Hobart Oval. The Demons in need of a response.
It was really set up well by Archer then. That kick was beautiful. It gave them time to reset and really well done.
She's been fantastic down back, reading the play. And
just calm too. Just seems to be able to have a good look at who's around and make the right decision.
Yeah, she's been one of their best today. Giving them plenty of drive off half back. And suddenly, a 17-point advantage here for the Roos. Top of the table Demons. Finding themselves with some serious work to do. But it's going to be the Roos who be able to get yet another clearance here. Pike looking to hold it up. Thomas in there as well. Just missing the midfield influence. Angelica Clark this afternoon, the Demons. There's a hold being paid. Here we go the way of Webster. And we have some more defending to do in just a second here. Oates making a searching lead for her. That's where she heads. It's a good kick to find Oates. Oates now will drive them inside the forward 50 once again. Turning with it, Limbrick getting a high kick up into the air. Banks tracking it. Couldn't quite take the mark. Murgatroyd worked it on, then slapped on by Edmund and through for a behind. Lead out to an even 3 goals. Much as they did at the start of quarter number 2, it's Clarence dominating this contest. Kick towards White, fell out the back for Thomas, high from Smith. Sends it down the line for Pike. The others went for Lamb, but deflected into the path of Smith. Smith shares it with Barnes. Barnes goes into the corridor, and it's a good kick to find a target there. Wide open is Mifsud. That's where she heads, but Wagner gets there first. Just read it. Intercepts, and again the Demons just unable to get anything going in attack right now. Chip kick into the corridor, finds Preshaw. 2 lovely goals this afternoon. Limbrick presenting up at the football nicely. It's a pretty open forward 50. Steps into the pressure of Lamb. Preshaw again breaking through lines. Sets it up inside the forward 50. Murgatroyd! Suddenly some gaps opening up in this North Hobart defence. Murgatroyd could kick them out to a 24-point lead here. Pretty good purchase on that one from Murgatroyd. Sails over the goal umpire's hat, and the Roos are running right here at North Hobart. They're out by 24 points. And it's the Demons in all sorts of trouble.
Just the D's trying to get it back down their end. They're just unable to get it. It cut off really well by the Roos there. Really well done. Weren't able to get that down.
Murgatroyd's been a lively target inside forward 50. Her goal kicking had probably been the one area that's let her down today. Prior to that, just a couple of kicks that had dropped short, a little flat with the trajectory. No issues there. Caught that one perfectly. Sailed over the goal umpire. North Hobart in dire need of a response here. He's all one-way traffic right now. The ladder leaders under siege. Smith. Handball shut down by Knowles. And the Roos will go forward again. Preshaw with another clearance. Forward towards Limbrick. Limbrick gets to the football, straightens up. Handball over the top. They could be on for another one here, but it wouldn't quite sit for Edmund. Tumbles across the line. Toss back into play. Murgatroyd and Smith doing the ruck work. The handball, not a good one for Lamb. Cleared out of there by England. Webster bustling through. Barnes now will just hurry a kick out of there, but parked behind the football was Archer. Rare mistake from her, dropping the chest mark, but following up nicely here was Harper. Slip to the football, spills the way of Archer and Thomas, and they scrap through it at ground level. Force the stoppage.
Very well done. Good pressure from the Roos. The pressure on ball has been really good.
It's just causing some errors on the foot in particular for the Demons, struggling to move the football up the ground as a result. Here is Brianna Oates again, sends them inside the forward 50. The kick just too much on it for Murgatroyd. Banks has a look, kicks it up into the corridor. It's a good ball. Finds a target in Moffat at half back. Can they get something going here? She'll go sideways to Smith in space. They'll play one over the top. And Pike opts not to use her. Instead kicks to a 2-on-1. Webster out the back. Well, it took a nice bounce in the end for Barnes, who makes it work. Sends it inside forward 50. Here's perhaps a chance, but it was well defended. Back there. Slung down his ball. Umpire says play on. Handball out. Barnes trying to extract the football. The Blues defence lock it in. Tossed up. Down. But Smith will be first to the football. Ball in the back a tad there. Blues bounce away with it up towards Ivory. Just too much on it for her. Vernon presenting up. But the football gets there first, but a handball back into dispute. Lamb back to Vernon, who was immediately under siege. And locked in for a ball up.
I spoke to Vernon throughout the week, actually, who said that they were really excited to be back at North Hobart. Each player knows the ground blade by blade, is what she said. So no doubt they'll be, glad to be back here rather than Ninja Stadium.
Yeah, you'll be glad to be playing at home. Perhaps not so glad with the current situation in the game, though. Her team in real need of a lift here late in quarter number 3. They've left themselves a lot of work to do. Clarence, they've brought a real intensity about their game today. They've been up for this. Came home with a wet sail in quarter number 4 in that match a fortnight ago. Coming from too far behind. Slapped on by Smith. Barnes. And following up. Webster unable to escape.
Perhaps they really utilised that bye that they had last week then, the Roos.
Going to work, perhaps. Coming with a new approach. Certainly some difference in personnel out there today with the Devils in action. Clarence looking pretty comfortable at the moment. Take quite the reversal here. North Hobart, 4 goals in arrears. They've only kicked 1 all day. They only scored since the opening 7 or 8 minutes of this match, the Demons. The first goal
since then, Clarence have been firmly on top. Unkind bounce for Wagner and gets clattered into by Denny. Get a free kick, advantage paid. Maroons look to take it. Ivory the target here, just short of her. Edmund brought down and a tackle by Phillips. Vernon has got 3 to beat here. Might do well just to force a stoppage. And does so. Locking it in. And now do the ruck work for the Roos against Smith. Reaches over the top, one it down. Wickham. Speed efforts there. Roos will get another clearance here. Preshaw tumbles it inside 50. Clark was really good and got it to Ivory. Ivory's got options here. She might go herself for a goal though. Ivory just across the face.
She wasn't too sure, was she? I felt like she was looking around, seeing the options, but instead wanted to go for herself, so not bad.
Couldn't quite provide the finish. Might well have been the finishing blow the way this game's playing out right now. 25 points is an enormous lead for the Demons to reel in, and Lindbrook intercepts here. Too far out to score, but she'll square it up for Whitehead. He'll play on into an open goal. Whitehead's just offline. 26 points, the lead.
Would have been a very good goal then. They would have been really happy with that. North Hobart just struggling to get it out of their back half, so we'll see what happens next time.
Yeah, the first half, both teams kind of had periods in each quarter where they were on top, but this third term has been all Clarence. The Demons in all sorts of trouble here. Fancy need to get at least one before the three-quarter time break if they're going to be any chance in the last. That kick won't help in that endeavour. Straight to Whitehead. Whitehead looks up. The leads present. Ivory with some space. She heads in that direction. Just floats over her head and Banks drifts across to take the intercept. Banks, not a lot of movement ahead of her. Kick to a 3-on-1.
That kick, they've struggled every time doing that kick.
Quite often kicking to outnumbers too. Banks takes another intercept and goes up towards White, but Preshaw did really well to break it up, battling away now with Barnes. That's her game today, Heidi Preshaw. She's been a real game breaker. 2 goals and some really nice things, breaking lines. Wickham on this occasion. Thomas just overrunning it. Preshaw burrowed in for that one and got a leg to the head.
Yeah.
And get a free kick.
Bit Ginger getting up there.
It's going to be taken by Clark. And that'll be brought back. So final 2.5 minutes of the term here. 26 points the margin. They've made their move in quarter number 3 here. Have Clarence. Wide kick for Webster. Has some support in the form of Oates. Used it well, and now Oates sets it up for Whitehead.
Great lead from Whitehead then.
Whitehead's got plenty of options inside the forward 50 here. The Demons desperately try and get back. We'll just set it up to the hot spot. 10 metres out from goal. Pressure on England here. Vernon. They've won it back of the Roos. Snapped around the corner. Oh, nicely defended, but the danger not yet past. Flicked out of there by Barnes towards Lamb. Lamb tumbles one straight down the throat of Webster. Webster wanted Mifsud to free kick going the protected zone. Didn't get that, but she found Limerick. And Limerick more than capable of going the journey from here. She's a lovely kick of the football. Can extend the lead to 32 points. Might well be the dagger, despite it only being the third term. Jacinta Limbrick drives it in. It was never in doubt. She's a class act, Jacinta Limbrick. Clarence by 32 points here. They have sliced this game open in the third term. And North Hobart in need of a miracle now. You fancy they've probably done enough here, the Roos.
Got some questions, North Hobart, just getting it down to their forward end. Obviously, they're missing Ava Reid, who I think would have been really important for them. She's out this weekend, but yeah, few questions I'll be searching for.
Yeah, we were expecting a really tight battle. It was playing out that way in the first half, but Clarence in this third term have been utterly dominant, and they've put her on the scoreboard crucially. The defence eventually giving way for North Hobart's been coming in there so often. 32 points, a huge lead here, and a shake-up in the SFLW. This top of the table showdown. Defending that one is Ball. Spills out the back for Percy. Again, just winning it back. Knowles goes off the ground. High ball. Limbrick presenting up nicely, takes the mark. Might be time enough for one score if Whitehead can gather and get rid of it quickly. She gets boot to ball. Whitehead, the siren just speaks them out. I think she might have had a shot for goal if she had known how few seconds were left. And in the end, the siren bails out the Demons, but I'm not sure there's going to be any bailing them out at the end of the day. They're down by 32 points. Just looking far too strong today, the Clarence Roos.
Well, they said I spoke to them during this week, Ashley Harper, and she said there is redemption on the line. Obviously, losing last time they played, so I think they've well and truly covered that. They've done extremely well. North Hobart will be disappointed. They had a lot of the ball in their forward 50, especially in that first half, and just weren't able to convert. So it'll be interesting. And we've got to remember, North Hobart are undefeated. They're such a great team, so it's no easy feat. But the Roos have done really well.
Yeah, they really blew the game apart in that quarter. It was 18-8 at the halftime break. It's now 40-8. 3 goals for to no score in that term. Clarence looking the goods to knock off the top of the ladder. Demons here at North Hobart Oval. We'll be back with the final term for you shortly. Dangerous one, and the mark is taken there by Murgatroyd. Murgatroyd. It's a low one, but it works out all right. Well, it certainly wasn't her intent. Didn't quite catch the shot as she would have liked, but landed perfectly for Ivory, who hangs it near side. And that's a real let-off there for the Demons. A Harper, I'm assuming. A couple of Harpers in the team. Here's Limbrick. Limbrick squaring ball all on her own. Preshaw.
That was smart. Good eyes then.
And Preshaw wearing ball all on her own. Preshaw.
That was smart. Good eyes then.
And Preshaw wheels off beautifully, opens up and fires for goal. It's Preshaw for a second. Up into the air, Banks tracking it. Couldn't quite take the mark. Murgatroyd worked it on, then slapped on by Edmund. Through for a behind. Pressure of Lamb. Preshaw again breaking through lines. Sets it up inside the forward 50. Murgatroyd. Pretty good purchase on that one from Murgatroyd. Sails over the goal umpire's hat, and the firmly on top. Unkind bounce for Wagner and gets clattered into by Denny. To Ivory. Ivory's got options here. She might go herself for a goal though. Ivory just across the face.
She wasn't too sure, was she? I felt like she was looking around.
Far out to score, but she'll square it up for Whitehead. It'll play on into an open goal. Whitehead's Webster. Wanted Nipsey to for a kick going the protected zone. Didn't get that, but she found Limbrick. Might well be the dagger, despite it only being the third term. Jacinta Limbrick drives it in. It was never in doubt. She's a class act. So back for the final quarter here at North Hobart Oval. It's a shell-shocked Demons outfit trailing this one by 32 points. Surely too far behind, but they're going to want to finish strong all the same, aren't they, given these two look like perhaps the top two in the competition this year?
Yeah, they really will. I saw, even when they were huddling in their circle, a lot of cheers and a lot of clapping from the Roos camp, so I think they'll be definitely happy, but I think they'll want to finish strong and play a full four quarters.
In the first meeting between the two, we saw Clarence really coming home strong in the last quarter after North Hobart had the better of much of that contest, and perhaps some of that's helped set the tone heading into today. So we'll see if North Hobart can muster up a better effort here in the final term after a third quarter. And they were absolutely blitzed. 22-0 the scoring in that third term. It's really blowing this game wide open. So the Demons with it all to do as we start the final term here. Clarence looked to get first use through Webster, stripped off the football, but getting a boot to it was Scott, got it to Webster. Webster cleverly by hand to Wickham. Wickham sets it high up towards the goal square. Plucked beautifully by Murgatroyd.
Very strong.
She's been dominant in the air today, as Luca Murgatroyd didn't play the last time these two met. Has been a difference maker today. She get another one? She can. Drives it through. What a start to the final term. They're out by 38 points, the Roos. Did not see this coming.
No. I was expecting a tough competition today, but no, turns out it's all the Roos at this point.
We got that for the first half, certainly. 18-8 at half time. Both teams had periods where they were kind of locking inside forward 50, but they've just dominated all around the ground, particularly out of the middle as the game has worn on. Webster influential there, and Murgatroyd, what a target she's been for them inside 50.
Great.
So they pick up right where they left off. The kick 6 unanswered after the Demons got the first of the afternoon. They'll get ball inside 50 here, but the kick will do no favours for Percy. Archer has been outstanding today, tries to shrug off the tackle of Percy. Kicks it back to Wagner, not 15, has to play on. Did so, had the presence of mind to get it to Knowles, and Knowles got it back to Archer, who sends it in the Webster direction, but it's nicely read. Intercepted there by Atkinson, who stabs one down the line. Smith just unable to gather, tossed up. Barnes, ball out the back. Thomas goes in for it. Quite by her normal standards today, Thomas.
No, she's been quiet.
She's so prolific, but the Roos midfield has been fantastic today. Whitehead gets it to Wagner, full of dash as per usual. Sets it up towards the half-forward line. Found a target there in Edmund. Edmund sets it up. Murgatroyd lurking again. Just lost her footing. Was worked off it there by England, and England clears it up towards the half-back line where Moffat takes it in stride, skips around one, and then sends it up the wing. Nice ball use there. Finds Smith on the wing. Smith puts her hands out and says, "Give me something." In the end, forced to kick to a contest. The Roos come away with it again. Handball to the outside and then tried to find Lamb. They're out here though, the Demons. Lamb's got a player all her own in front of goal. Surely coming up for Denny here. She gathers and slams it through. They had the numbers out the back, and finally North Hobart get their second of the afternoon, a long time after their first, and they stop the run of goals from Clarence to cut the margin back to 32.
Roos will be disappointed with that. Denny was just out the back for a long time waiting there, so a bit of confusion as to who was on her, but well done. She managed to get a goal in the end.
So the claw one back. And Demons just trying to get back a bit of respectability on the final score at this point, really. Take something pretty unlikely from this point on to get themselves a win, 32 points down in the final quarter. They want to at least win this final term and look a little closer on the final score. Denny does that. So they're back to the middle. And the ball forwards opportunity to get to work for Percy. Well, let's play develop. Percy on the bottom of this pack under pressure from Oates. Smith trying to get in there, as is Thomas, but Oates drives her down. Pretty sure locking in there. Scott Smith decisively over the top. Pretty sure though able to get to the football first. Handball not quite gathered. Demons with some numbers here, but the kick slews backwards off the side of the boot. And almost lets in Oates. Percy over to White. White through some traffic. Driving a deep kick inside 50, looking for Denny, but spills out the back. Scored across the line by Harper.
Thomas just looks a little bit sore there. She copped a hard one on the head when she came down, so she's probably just a bit sore after that one.
Yes, seems to be feeling it out there at the moment. It's been a bruising game, it's fair to say. They've brought the heat with the tackling all afternoon, the Roos, and they've reaped the rewards. Wagner can link up with Whitehead here, who gets some good purchase on the clear and kick. The Demons with numbers behind the football, though. White able to gather and sends this one wide to Moffat. Moffat looks up. Leeds present themselves. Drives a central ball for Denny, but able to get to the football. Cleared away by Wagner. Just blasted into space. How will it bounce for Whitehead? Pretty accommodatingly, but has to dance around Pike. Does so. Sends it back into the middle of the ground. Bounced out the back for White, who gathers and gets a kick away. Some space here for Moffat to work into. Drives it to the hot spot. Couldn't quite find Mifsud. The Roos again able to clear the ball away in the direction of Whitehead. Bounces out in front of her. Ivory's on down the wing if she can get it to her. That's where she heads. Kick not quite staying for her. Werner defending it pretty well, but some good body work from Ivory. Just getting the handball away in time was Edmund, but it fell in favour of Ferguson, who toes it forward, but straight to Webster. Webster back now to Edmund under pressure from Thomas. High ball towards Thomas. One kind bounce, handball to Webster. Around the corner over both Ivory and Vernon. Oates unable to take it clearly. His Banks gets in there. The umpire says, I'll have it. Smith wide down to White, but Oates brings her down. And I don't know where the pyro tubing was there.
Oh, that's a little stiff.
The moment she had the ball, she was wrapped up. Well, what she was meant to do there, Brian.
I think she was arguing a case too there.
Grace White, anyway, Oates the beneficiary, as this one's worked towards Ivory, just a bit too much on it, and a throw called. And North Hobart will get the free kick at half back. So, the Demons will head wide here. Kicks towards a pack. Almost taken by Scott. Looking through. Mills. Tossed up in the middle of the ground. Scott and Smith. Smith knocked it down nicely. Couldn't find White. Smith lays a tackle. Smith paddles down for Moffat. Webster, tough in and under all afternoon.
Both midfielders working really hard at the moment.
Pounding it out right till the end here at North Hobart Oval. Barnes walks up her opposite number, Oates. Smith paddles down. Barnes after it, but almost emerging with it pre-short. Webster, Thomas strips her of the football. Moffat able to get a kick away, sends them Up towards the paint of 50. Archer again charging off the line, but just missed it this time. That lets in Lamb. Lamb with a high ball towards Denny. Spoiled away from her. Mifsud following up at ground level. Shrugs free of a tackle and snapping around the corner. Mifsud not quite. Just to behind. Reaching the halfway point of the final term. Wagner. Lovely kick to Preshaw. Preshaw spies Webster in some space. Gets her up at half back, and Webster's got Clark on over the top. That's where she heads. Clark with room to manoeuvre here as she drives it down the wing in the Limerick direction. Just ran underneath the football. Following up, but skews towards Thomas. Oates gets there first, and Thomas locks it in.
If the Roos can get it out here, they've just got Amity Chick, just sitting in their forward 50. That wouldn't be quite good to get them it out to her.
Preshaw will work it around the corner. It wasn't a well-directed kick though. Straight to Ferguson on her own behind the ball. Perhaps the reason Chick was on her own, they had their own spare at the back of this contest. As this one's worked down the line. Preshaw once again. Plenty of it today. They got plenty of numbers at half forward, but just
friendly fire.
Spilling the mark under pressure for her own teammate in the end there. Oates battling away. Ivory in support. Ivory a good firm tackle there. Live wire inside 4:50 this afternoon. As Charlotte Ivory, lots to like about her game today. Wickham and Smith battle away. Wickham came away with it, tried to find Knowles. Come off the boot. Lamb was claiming the kick. The umpire disagreed. She had me convinced, but not the man that mattered.
She did.
Smith paddles down. Preshaw again turning away with it. Tried to shrug free of Lamb. Got it to Knowles. Knowles under pressure from Barnes, who stripped her of the football. That'll be holding the ball. And says, how about a 50? Barnes says no. Drives it down the line. Archer there to chop it off, as she's done for so much of the afternoon, but just didn't settle for her on this occasion. Had some support coming in the form of Webster. Smith beaten by Wickham over the top. Preshaw battles with Barnes. Denny also in there. Still following up is Preshaw. Vernon back the other way. Moffat spins free and then sends it up towards the half-forward line. The mark taken there. And handed off to Lamb. Lamb for McGuinness. Just too much on the kick. Hearing out the back is Wagner. It's there first and then sets a high kick up. Archer got there but then spilled the beans.
Off the ground.
Snapping it off the ground. It's a goal for, I think it was a Mifsud in the end who got it. And something out of nothing there for the Demons as they get their second of the final term. Cut the margin back to 25.
Takes a bit of talent kicking it off the ground, doesn't it?
I've seen a couple of them today. And that was just lovely work on the left from Mifsud. Second of the afternoon. We're seeing drilled through with the left foot. A little soccer effort. And Hobart a couple of goals back here in the final term. It's not beyond doubt, but good to see them fighting it out to the final whistle. Trying to spin free was White. Kicked it towards Whitehead. And Wickham ran into trouble. Did not see Denny coming from the other direction. Got caught holding the footy. Denny's kick put a teammate under pressure, but up to the task was White. Got it up in the Smith direction, juggling the mark nicely is Smith. Mifsud presents. Smith says, I'll go myself, and just tries to take advantage of an open goal square, but getting back were both Archer and Wagner. And they see it through. Wickham making her way to the bench rather gingerly after that crunching tackle.
I think it's a right ankle she was hurt then.
Going to come back inside 50 via White here. That's a nice ball. Wide open was Percy. Percy. She give them a glimmer of a miracle here. She sets sail for home, gets good purchase on the kick, and then it bounces the complete wrong way for her. Back into dispute, towed away by Knowles. Almost holding the ball, but just got boots of ball. Moffat pings it up there. Dangerous ball in the direction of Splann. Lamb lurking now. Demons bring some heat here, and that forces an error kick to Mackenzie Banks, who's bobbed up forward. Banks, time, an enemy of the Demons here. She's got to go quickly. Vernon gave her an option. Does Banks have the journey from here? She gives it a roost. It won't quite have the distance.
Oh, Mark.
It's beautifully plucked in the square by Grace Whites. She can cut the margin back to 18 points here.
Doesn't take long.
She slams it through. They still need another 3. They've only got 4 minutes plus change. It would be a Herculean effort from here. Well, they've kicked 3 in the final term now, the Demons. Similar script to what we saw at Ninja Stadium a couple of weeks ago, just in reverse.
Yeah, exactly. It was the Roos that really came through in that last quarter last time. So interesting, the things have sort of switched around. But North Hobart have done well to get a couple goals and bring the margin a bit closer.
So back within 3 goals. I don't think they're going to have enough time with the lack of time on. The fact that these seconds are going off the clock right now working against them. But
yeah, bit of a shame the clock doesn't stop. That might have been a bit more helpful.
yeah, the 20-minute flat quarters making things pretty tough for them here. They're just going to have to walk it down the middle, quickly get another goal to be any chance. Roos can just possess the football for any period or force repeat stoppages. It would be ball game.
I've been really impressed with the Roos midfield this quarter, but also the whole game, really.
White stepping through traffic, handballs it over, but there is Preshaw, has been an outstanding part of that midfield group you mentioned. Archer has been imperious down back. She sends this one to Limbrick. Limbrick gathers in stride, goes looking for Murgatroyd almost. Ivory getting back in the path. The Demons will look to rebound off half back here. Moffat wide open on the wing. He's got room to manoeuvre. Finds Smith. Smith has to get this ball moving quickly. Sets it up inside the forward 50. Gather cleanly. She comes from Denny. Well done, Wagner. Did it nicely, and they work it out via ball up towards Knowles and Limbrick. Lamb locks it in there, and Limbrick forces the stoppage. Going unopposed in the end was McGuinness. But she was tackled off her kick, and that's holding the footy. The second mouse gets the cheese there, just into Limbrick.
Oof.
Spilled by Ivory. Had time enough, though, to go back and gather it. Round the corner goes Edmund, but another rash kick that's turned over. He's looking to spread it wide here. Defended by Oates. Oates with strength, then turned back into trouble. Double trouble. No holding the ball on that occasion. Tossed up. Just 2 minutes remaining here. The Roos have done enough now. The Demons have certainly fought on in this final term. Just left themselves too much to do. Archer has been outstanding. Got it to Whitehead. Around the corner from Webster. Took a tumbling bounce inside 450 towards Chick, but repelled. Preshaw quite sit for her between the legs of McGuinness. Able to extract it and then slung down by Charlotte Barnes. Scott McGuinness uses it decisively. Webster read it beautifully. Then sends it towards Murgatroyd. Gathered cleanly. Turns, snaps. Numbers back though for the Demons. A hand up in the lane from Phillips. Vernon towards the line. Under pressure from Ivory. Impacts the kick. Drift out of bounds on the full. So Opportunity for a late score here, perhaps, for the Roos. Squaring ball, just misses the target. Might open them back the other way here. They spare behind the ball. Who can win this contest? Doing well was Denny, crashing in. Ball flicks it out though, and it found its way to Oates. Oates has her kick picked off. Half back from the Demons. Go for one last attack here. Whitehead will be first to the football. Wagner in support behind her. Such a model of composure off half back. Shift short for Oates. Dying embers of this one, the Roos. Going to flip the script from their meeting 2 weeks ago. They're going to score a big 3-goal victory over North Hobart. The top 2 in the competition. It's going to be 1 win apiece. 18 points the final margin. Clarence get the chocolates today. It's been a great battle. They blew the game open in the third term, and despite a good last quarter fight back from the Demons, they simply had too much to do. Clarence 18-point victors, and this battle between 2 premiership fancies, 1 win apiece after 5 rounds.
No doubt, Roos will be extremely happy with that. I mean, they definitely, came into it looking for redemption, and they managed to get it. And they were strong, even though North Hobart really surged in that last quarter. So, really great performance. I thought it might have been closer, but I think it was a pretty good game.
Yeah, it was a fascinating battle, and I think we're going to have some more interesting battles between these two throughout the year, and I suspect we may have a big September battle between these two when all is said and done. But Clarence too good today, 6-10-46 over North Hobart, 4-4-28. Who do you think were the best players for each side before we finish up, here?
Oh, well, I think in the first half for North Hobart, I would have said Maddie Lamb, she was great, and there are a couple others. I think perhaps might have gone a bit quiet in that second half. But I think, Webster for the Roos and Archer was great. They did really well. So, yeah, quite a few good players either side, but I think the Roos just got the upper hand.
Yeah, too many winners across the ground. I think Preshaw was really good.
Yep.
Wagner was rock solid in defence. Edmonds did some nice defensive work. When they were under pressure, I thought she was really good in that first half. Didn't have a lot to do for much of the second half. They just had winners across the ground, really.
Just composed, very composed. No rushing. Their smart kicking was a lot better, I thought, than last time the guys they played. So, yeah, we'd be happy with that.
So that will do us from North Hobart Oval. Clarence the victors by 18 points in this round 5 SFLW game. You've enjoyed the coverage. Andrew Cooling and Lily Thompson signing off at North Hobart Oval. We'll see you next week, but it's bye for now.
See ya.
Got it to Webster. Webster cleverly by hand to Wickham. Wickham sets it high up towards the goal square. Plucked beautifully by Murgatroyd. Dominant in the air today. As Luca Murgatroyd didn't play the last time these two met. He's been a difference maker today. She get another one. She can. Drives it. And the ball to the outside and then tried to find Lamb. They're out here though, the Demons. Lamb's got a player all her own in front of goal. Surely coming up for Denny here. She gathers and slams it through towards Denny. Spoiled away from her. Mifsud following up at ground level. Shrugs free of a tackle and snapping around the corner. Mifsud not quite the other way. Moffat spins free and then sends it up towards the half forward line. The mark taken there. Handed off to Lamb. It's there first and then sets a high kick up. Archer got there but then spilled the beans.
Off the ground.
Snapping it off the ground. It's a goal. Task. White got it up in the Smith direction, juggling the mark nicely is Smith. Mifsud just tries to take advantage of an open goal square, but getting back with both Archer and Wagner. They'll see it through. Lamb lurking now. Demons bring some heat here, and that forces an error kick to Mackenzie Banks, who's bobbed up from here. She gives it a roost. It won't quite have the distance.
Oh, Mark.
Beautifully plucked there by Grace Whites. She can cut the margin back to 18 points here.
Doesn't take long.
She slams the throw. They still